Hi everyone, I'm Janneke and welcome back to my channel Books and Stitches. As the background may already show, this video is going to be all about books. Um, I have a new laptop and I have not yet figured out a video editing program on it, so this video is going to be completely unedited. So fingers crossed it's going to go okay. But it's nearly September? August. It's nearly August, which means it is time for the autumn equinox of the magical readathon. I am super excited for it and I am gonna tell you all my TBR. So, in the spring equinox, I try to become a story weaver. I continue doing that, or am continuing doing that now. So for that, I would have to read 6 books, which is a lot for me. So, I mean, I'm just gonna do my best. I have 6 books picked out. Um, Fingers crossed again that I will manage to do it. So, first of all, I have my laptop down there with like the text of the magical readathon. So if I like disappear down, that's why I'm looking it up. So first of all, for inscription, I need to get an O for ordinary. The prompt for that is the glyph tidy. And you have to read a book that is on your end of the year TBR. Sorry, one moment. Back. Gonna keep disappearing downstairs because my laptop is down there. Sorry. So a book from the end of my end of the year TBR. I don't have a designated TBR of books that I really want to read before the end of the year, but I do have 2 series that I really want to finish before the end of the year because from both I only have 1 book left in the main series and then like a couple of tie-in spin-offs. So that is The Land of Stories, where I still need to read book 6, and the book that I picked, which is What's a Girl Gotta Do by Holly Bourne. This is the 3rd book in the Spinster trilogy by Holly Bourne, and I absolutely loved the first 2 books, though they do always take me quite a while to actually read, so it's not the best, but so is just a lot of stories. I love both series, but they both take me a while to read, so yeah, I'm hoping to read this book for that prompt, because I really want to finish the series this year, because I read the first 2 books years ago. I don't even remember when, but it's been a while. So this is a book about, or this series is about 3 different friends who meet each other in the, it's not university, maybe it is university, it's like the British equivalent of it, maybe it's university, I don't remember. But they meet each other and each book centers around one of the 3 friends. The first one centered around mental health a lot, and I think it was OCD specifically, but I'm not 100% certain on that. It's been a while, but that book is called Am I Normal Yet? And then the second book focused heavily on another one of the 3 girls, and it focused on her relationship with her mother mostly, her complicated relationship with her mother, and also about like romance and the complicated feelings that can bring up in teenage girls. That book is How Hard Can Love Be? And this book centers a lot about feminism. All 3 of the books have this running thread of feminism. That's like what the 3 friends bond over. But this is really, really about feminism. It's like, it centers heavily on that. And it's called What's a Girl Gotta Do? So yeah, I'm very excited to read it. I'm very excited to finish the series. After this, I do still have And a Happy New Year to read, but that's like a very short, like little spin-off series. So yeah, very excited to read this. After inscription, we move on to lore. For lore, I need to get all 3 prompts. So starting with O for ordinary. Tale of the Guides, a bookseller's recommendation. That was a difficult one as well. Yeah, so I don't personally know any booksellers, first things first, and I didn't want to buy any books for this because I have way too many unread books already. But this is a book that I've seen a lot in like displays of bookstores, mainly on like book talk table or something, but I've seen it a lot in bookstores and like on display, so I figured that probably counted as a recommendation. So for that, I'm gonna be reading The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm not 100% certain what it's about. It's, as far as I'm aware, it's like a mystery book, maybe a bit of a thriller. And it's about a girl who finds out she's like in the will of this really rich guy who just died. That's all I know about it, but I've seen it a lot on like those recommended displays. So, and I am interested in reading it. It sounds fun and it's a completely different genre. I really try to pick like different genres and like age ranges and stuff to have like variety in the 6 books. So yeah, this will be my first book for lore. And since I don't know more about it, I can't tell you more about it. Then afterwards for lore, we have Cursed Cloaks. For that, we have to read a book with clothing on the cover. I really tried to find a book that had clothing on the cover that wasn't being worn, because otherwise it just felt like a person on the cover. But I did not own any, or if I did, looking through like the bookshelf app that I have, none of them seemed to have clothing without people in it. So instead, I decided to start reading Margot Zimmerman Gets the Girl. This is a book that I have wanted to read since the moment I found out about it. And then when it came out, I bought it almost immediately. And I am so excited to read this book. This book is about an autistic teenager, Margot Zimmerman, who comes to the conclusion that she's a lesbian, but she doesn't know how to be a lesbian. And so she goes to the closest gay person she knows, basically, a girl from her year, and asks her to teach her how to become a lesbian. And the girl, Abby, is really struggling with her history grade. So in exchange for tutoring, she agrees to teach Margot how to be a lesbian, even though, you know, you can't really be a lesbian. But as someone who is autistic, I can relate to the feelings that you don't belong in a group, even though you are a part of that group, and like feeling like you're missing the handbook of how to person, basically. So yeah, as a queer autistic person, the moment I found out about this book, I had to buy it and read it. As far as I'm aware, it's like rom-com-y as well, so that's always fun. But yeah, I'm very excited about it, and they're both wearing clothes, so yeah, it counts. That's probably gonna be the first book I read of this TBR, because I've just been wanting to read it ever since I bought it, basically, which is like, I think it was last month, but I was in the middle of books, so I was like, okay, I have to finish this month's TBR, but then I can read this book. So yeah, I've been wanting to read this book a while, so this is gonna be my first book. I'm 99% sure. Okay, my laptop went out. One moment. Oh, right. The next for lore, it's distinguished, I think is what it is. It's the D. We have to go to the underworlds. So we have to read a horror book. That was so difficult for me because I don't read horror. I do read some mystery thrillers that I think could maybe edge towards being counted as a horror. So I picked one of those that I thought, based on the description, might be close to being a horror book. So I chose All These Bodies by Kendare Blake. This is about, dead bodies being found, but the bodies are like completely drained of blood. So that feels kind of like vampire-y to me. I don't know if it is, but it feels like kind of supernatural, and like it's leaning in those directions. So I figured maybe it has some horror elements. It's the closest I could find in my bookcase anyway. But as far as I'm aware, this takes place in like 2 different time periods. But I'm not 100% sure about that anymore. But someone is being blamed for these murders and trying to figure out who the actual killer is with the help of like the sheriff's son, I believe. But yeah, I'm not completely sure what it's about, but it's about bodies being found that are completely drained of blood, which felt kind of horror-y to me. So this is what we're going for with horror, because I don't have anything closer than that. So those were my lore books, and then we have psionics and divination. So we're gonna be looking into the future now. For psionics and divination for ordinary, we have the tarot challenge. It is called Introduction to Tarot. And as G from Book Rose, the originator of the Readathon, described in her video, you have to go to a website and randomly generate a tarot card. I did that. I don't remember which it was. I'm so sorry, but I can't add it anyway, so I can't put in a picture anyway, so I figured it was fine. I think it was like the Magician or something like that. But anyway, there was a sword on that card. So you have to pick like one of the items or symbols on that card and pick a book that has the same item or symbol on the cover. And that card, whichever one it was that I picked, had a sword on it. So I decided to go with Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. This is a historical romance. I'm not sure if it's a romance, actually. I think it is, based on like the Arthur and Guinevere. But it's also gay, which I love, clearly. Yeah, no, it's by Lex Croucher, who is also the writer of Reputation and Infamous. I have read Reputation and really loved it. I own Infamous, haven't read it yet, but wanting to. And this is basically about, as far as I'm aware, I haven't read the book yet, and I tend to forget synopsises very easily, but it's about Gwen and Art, who have to get married, but are not in love with each other, and instead are both in love with someone else. Gwen with a girl, Art with a boy. That's really all I know about it. I knew the author, I knew the concept of like being together while in love with other people, and I always like fake dating stuff. Even like in general, the trope of fake dating ends up with the people fake dating together, but even without them ending up together, I just like the idea of fake dating. So that, combined with the author, combined with like the historical romance stuff, I was like, yeah, I have to give this a try. So this is her first YA book. The other two books by Lex Croucher are new adults. But yeah, I am very interested in this. It sounds like there's a lot of friendship heavy elements as well. So that is also always very fun to read about. So Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. I'm getting distracted by the way the light shines off the golden letters. It's pretty. This is my first book for psionics and divination. And then for the qualified, we have to read a book set in the future. Again, not a genre I usually read. Most books that are set in the future are either science fiction or dystopian. I don't really read either one. So it was, again, a bit of a struggle, but I remembered that I recently found out about an author who wrote A Kind of Spark, which is not set in the future, but I read that in, I think, April or May, and absolutely loved it. And I bought all of her books when I like realized she wrote middle grade books centering autistic characters. So I don't think they're all autistic, but they're all neurodivergent characters. And one of those books that I bought in my haul of all of her books was Show Us Who You Are. This is a science fiction, and doing some quick Googling to see if it's set in the future or not, I found some reviews saying it was set in a near future. So yeah, it's about a girl. Obviously, most books are about a boy or a girl. It's about a girl who is, the back of the book doesn't specify, but she is some type of neurodivergent. I don't know if she's autistic or not, but she is neurodivergent. And she goes to this company called Pomegranate, which is like technology and holograms and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm not sure about the rest of it, but it's like technology that can bring people back to life, or they're working towards that or something. And yeah, I have no idea what it's about, but it's a middle grade. It is by Al McNichol, who also wrote A Kind of Spark, which I absolutely loved. I adored that book, so I really wanted to read her other books. And this is a sci-fi that is set in a near future, which is the future. So that is going to be my last book. So it's quite a hefty TBR. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'll be able to read it all in August, but I'm just gonna give it my best. And I am very excited about all of these books. Some of these may change out throughout the month. If I'm really in a mood for something else, I can also make fit the prompt. But in general, these will be the books that I will try to read. And I am so excited about it. If you are also joining the Magical Readathon, let me know. What career are you going for? How many books do you have to read? Which ones did you pick? Do you think you'll manage, or are you going to struggle? Also, if you've read any of the books I just showed, let me know what you thought of them. Like, convince me to pick them up first. Or, I mean, if you didn't like them, that's also totally fair to say and totally fine. Like, please just let me know what you thought of them. I'm very interested in hearing your opinions. And I don't have anything more to say, and I can't edit this video, so I'm not gonna ramble too much, because I tend to do that and then cut most of it out. But since I can't do that, I'm just gonna end it here. So thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully update you towards the end of the month about what I actually did manage to read. And till next time, bye!